They were born into fame, beauty, and political royalty, but behind the Kennedy shine, the Lawfords' lives tell a darker story. From Peter Lawford's rat-pack days to the lonely paths of his children, the Lawfords carried secrets, addictions, betrayals, and heartbreak. Here are their most shocking and revealing truths. Number 1. Hollywood's British prince turned outcast. Peter Sidney Ernest Lawford was born on September 7, 1923 in London to Sir Sidney Lawford, a British Army general, and May Bunny, his mistress at the time. Their affair scandalized polite society before they married later. As a child, Peter injured his right arm by running through a French glass door at 14, leaving permanent nerve damage that exempted him from World War II service. He came to Hollywood in the late 1000s, 930s, starring in Good News 1947 and Easter Parade 1948. With Judy Garland charming audiences with his British accent and refined looks. But his career-defining move was marrying Patricia Kennedy in 1954, sister of John F. Kennedy, making him Hollywood royalty with political clout. Yet beneath his suave exterior lay addictions to alcohol, pills, and gambling that destroyed his reputation. Did his aristocratic upbringing shield him from accountability or doom him to a life of careless indulgence? Number 2. Patricia Kennedy's Gilded Cage. Born May 6, 1924, Patricia Pat Kennedy grew up in a strict Catholic household, the sixth of 9 Kennedy children. Known as the quiet, artistic sibling, she studied at Rosemont College and worked briefly in radio before marrying Lawford. But his constant affairs, including rumored flings with Lana Turner and socialites, humiliated her. Their divorce in 1966 shattered her emotionally, and she descended into alcoholism, often drinking alone in her New York apartment. Her devotion to Catholic charities remained, but insiders described her later life as isolated, despite occasional family events. She died of pneumonia on September 17, 2006, at age 82. As biographer Lawrence Leamer wrote, "She married a prince, lived with a court jester, and died a queen without a kingdom. Was her quiet grace her strength, or her greatest weakness?" Number 3. Christopher Lawford, the Kennedy grandson who couldn't escape heroin. Christopher Kennedy Lawford, born March 29, 1955, was Peter and Patricia's first child. Raised in Beverly Hills, he attended Tufts University and Boston College Law School, but by age 14, he was smoking marijuana, leading to cocaine and heroin addiction through his teens and 20s. In his 2005 memoir, Symptoms of Withdrawal, he admitted he once overdosed in his parents' guest house, only surviving after friends threw him into a cold shower. Christopher acted in Terminator 3 and General Hospital and became a motivational speaker on addiction recovery, even working with the UN. Yet he confessed, "I always felt a fraud. Kennedy royalty, Lawford glamour, and here I was, an addict terrified of myself." He died suddenly of a heart attack in Vancouver on September 4, 2018, aged 63. Was his fate the final proof that fame cannot protect a family from its own demons? Number 4. Sidney Lawford, Beauty Hidden in Silence. Sidney Malaya Kennedy Lawford, born August 25, 1956, was named after her grandfather. Unlike her siblings, Sidney avoided publicity, studying quietly and marrying actor Robert Pender in 1984. Their daughter Victoria was born in 1986, carrying on the Kennedy Lawford bloodline. Sidney devoted her life to charity and arts patronage, often working behind the scenes at events like the Kennedy Center Honors. She rarely gave interviews, and little is known about her marriage's private dynamics. Friends described her as elegant and introverted, bearing resemblance to her aunt Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis in her reserved demeanor. While the world followed her brother's scandals, Sidney lived a disciplined, discreet life, raising her daughter away from cameras. Is this quiet existence proof that escaping family curses is possible if one turns away from the spotlight entirely? Number 5. Victoria Lawford, the daughter who vanished from public memory. So Victoria Frances Lawford, born November 4, 1958, was the third child of Peter and Patricia. As a girl, she attended elite schools in California and New York, but withdrew from public life after her parents' bitter divorce. Rumors swirl that she suffered from depression and estrangement from parts of the Kennedy family, choosing privacy over wealth and fame. Some reports claim she worked briefly in publishing before disappearing from media mention altogether. Unlike her siblings, Victoria has no known interviews, photos, or public statements in decades, sparking speculation about health struggles or conscious disconnection from her family's fame. Is her vanishing act an ultimate rebellion against a dynasty that consumed so many of its heirs? Number 6. Robin Lawford, the enigma of the youngest child. Robin Elizabeth Lawford, born July 2, 1961, was only 5 when her parents divorced. Her childhood was split between California and the East Coast with the Kennedys. She married Robert Martin in the 1980s, and they had 2 children but divorced in 2001. Little is known about Robin's career or current life. Some sources suggest she lives in California under her maiden name, focusing on quiet community work and family. Her absence from high-profile Kennedy events raises questions about relationships with cousins like Caroline Kennedy and Maria Shriver. Does her silence reflect a healing journey or hidden wounds too deep to share? Number 7. Peter Lawford and Marilyn Monroe's final night. Peter Lawford's role in Marilyn Monroe's death remains one of Hollywood's murkiest legends. On August 4, 1962, Lawford reportedly called Monroe to invite her to dinner, but she sounded groggy and said, "Say goodbye to Pat, say goodbye to the president, and say goodbye to yourself because you're a nice guy." Hours later, she was dead of an overdose. Some claim Lawford rushed to her Brentwood home to cover up evidence linking her to President Kennedy, removing phone records and pill bottles. He denied involvement, but insiders insist his phone call was the last Marilyn ever took. Was Peter merely an unlucky friend, or an accessory in a presidential cover-up that changed history? Number 8. Betrayed by Sinatra, Peter's ultimate Hollywood exile. As a Rat Pack member, Lawford enjoyed Frank Sinatra's closest trust. But in 1962, President Kennedy canceled a planned Palm Springs stay at Sinatra's compound due to mafia connections, choosing Bing Crosby's home instead. Sinatra blamed Lawford for failing to deliver the president and banned him from the Rat Pack. Lawford's career collapsed overnight, losing friends, roles, and status. Biographer James Spada wrote, "Sinatra broke Peter's heart like a cruel lover. Did Peter's exile prove loyalty? In Hollywood means nothing without power." Number 9. Peter Lawford's final days, alone and unwanted. After divorcing Patricia Kennedy, Peter married 3 more times to Mary Rowan, daughter of comedian Dick Rowan, aspiring actress Deborah Gould, and Patricia Seton. All ended bitterly, often amid his violence and drinking. By the early 1980s, his health was ruined by cirrhosis, kidney failure, and decades of drug use. He died on Christmas Eve, December 24, 1984, aged only 61. His ashes were interred at Westwood Village Memorial Park, but when burial payments lapsed, his 4th wife had them scattered in the Pacific. His son Christopher later lamented, "He went out as he lived, unanchored, drifting, lost." Was there ever truly a place for Peter Lawford in this world? Number 10. Peter Lawford's wives' love and loss. After divorcing Patricia Kennedy in 1966, Peter Lawford married 3 more times. In 1971, he wed Mary Rowan, daughter of comedian Dick Rowan, and had a daughter, Victoria, but his drinking and affairs ended the marriage quickly. Mary called him a tortured man who didn't know how to love. In 1976, he married 26-year-old actress Deborah Gould. He was so drunk at the wedding he slurred his vows, and she divorced him 2 months later for cruelty and emotional abuse, claiming he once locked her out overnight during a binge. His final marriage in 1984 was to Patricia Seton, a Las Vegas cocktail waitress, when he was dying of liver and kidney failure. After his death that year, Seton had his ashes removed from Westwood Village Memorial Park and scattered off Santa Monica's coast when burial fees lapsed. As friends said, Peter married for love, lust, and status, but died having found none.